The Alpha Draft is complete. The Bravo Dynasty Draft is currently in round 11. And the NFL community lost a legend this week. All this and more in 20 seconds. Hey, fellow fanatics, welcome to the Fanatically Real broadcast sponsored by Football, Darts, and Fantasy Sports Alliance. Let's see who's on with us already tonight. Athena on with us. Sean on with us. How are both of you tonight? Patty Mahomes, Louis Cintron just got on. So, huge deal just went down in the Bravo draft. I'll probably let the guys actually talk about it here in the room a little bit better than what I can talk to you all about it. But I think it was Louis that actually had a hand in that. I think it involved Patty Mahomes, some fab money, Dak Prescott, and 2 draft picks maybe, I think is how it went down. MJ on with us as well. Hey, MJ, how are you? Tusker's ready to roll. I know you guys are ready to go. So Charlie League is filling up fast. We got 2 more spots. Maybe only 1 more spot by the time we get done with the show. Rakeem on with us as well. Hey, man, what's going on? We still have not touched base since I got here at Fort Gordon. And, man, we're in the same building, I think. We need to say hey to each other. So Louis said that's exactly what happened was Louis gave up Dak in 2 draft picks. I think it was the 10.11 and 11.2 for Patty Mahomes and some fab money. Correct me if I'm wrong or right on that. Correct on the trade. Bill says grow a mustache. Bill the Third knows that I cannot grow a mustache in the current job that I have. You know better than anybody, sir. And Eric, our newest member, on with us tonight as well. Eric, how are you? All right, hey, let's get to this program. Hey, first off, we'd like to thank our broadcast sponsor, Football Darts. Football Darts is a dart game that combines the skill of traditional darts with the strategies of American football. This innovative dart game is played on a uniquely designed multiple-target dartboard. Unlike traditional British darts, American football darts is a game that combines both the skill of darts and the strategy of football. It can be played in sports bars, at tailgate events, as league tournaments, or as a leisure activity in the comfort of your own home. If you'd like to check out their officially licensed collegiate dartboards, go to footballdarts.com. Let's see. Yeah, Rakeem, we definitely have to get connected, man. $10 was a deal breaker if I didn't get it. You know what? Yeah, I think it's a steal too, Brian. I really don't know how much the fab is going to play into this year with Dynasty. First off, it's our first year doing Dynasty, right? And then I don't really know how this fab is going to work out since it's a year long, not a whole calendar, not a football season, a whole calendar year worth of free agent acquisition budget. So I don't know how that's going to play into everything, but we'll see. And the guy that had Patty basically had Patty and Lamar Jackson, gave up Patty and got Lamar Jackson and Dak. That's a pretty good deal, I think. You know, no matter how you cut that, I think that's a pretty good deal all around. So, hey, let's talk about the Empty Wagon show this week. So, the Empty Wagon makes a lot of noise. Listen to our partners Josh, Eric, and Brad talk fantasy football on their podcast, the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. They are your one-stop shop for fantasy football information and news. The guys talk rankings, projections, and they have a whole lot of comedy to go along with it. This week's show was called Super Flexing, and it was awesome. I say it was awesome more from a personal reason or for us for tooting our own horn here at FSA because the FSA Alpha Draft made a lot of appearance throughout the show this week. If you have not listened to them yet, still, shame on you. Go out and find Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. And if you want to go out, should go out and follow them on all of their social media. Go out to @EmptyWagonFF and you can find them on all the platforms. And then we forgot to mention this over the last couple weeks. I had a note in front of me here in front of the computer and the microphone to let you all know Josh from Empty Wagon did a great interview with Veterans Referring Veterans, VRV, a couple of weeks ago. And that was a really good listen as well. So wherever you're going out to find your podcast, go out and find VRV podcast and then also go out and listen to the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. Please do both of those things. Who else we got out there? Brian, did they post the... No, I have not posted the alpha analysis yet. I'm trying to give myself a little bit of time here around the house to be able to put that up. Hopefully this weekend. My hope is to get through tonight's show. Hopefully we will fill the Charlie Dynasty League tonight or Friday night. And then I will burn the midnight oil, not only building the brands for those last 3 teams, setting the Charlie League up, but also getting this draft analysis put up for the Alpha League. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Brian, because I do have it a little bit further down in the show that I am going to mention it. But there will be a draft analysis for the Alpha League, and I believe we got up to round 5, I think, in the Alpha League, and then we stopped. Because one of the guys that was doing the draft analysis on it is in the Bravo League. So a couple of the guys from the Alpha League are now doing a draft analysis on the Bravo League, and I'm not sure where we're at on that one yet either. If Chris is on right now, Chris can let me know because he's one of the guys doing the analysis. But that will be up on your individual league pages. Hopefully, Alpha first, no later than through this weekend, and then Bravo after that. Of course, we want to get you guys through a couple more rounds or maybe even finish your drafts before we put yours up. But also, don't forget this is Mother's Day weekend for all of you men and women out there who have mothers, which should be every single one of you, I'm hoping. And to say that, since MJ is on right now, MJ from Southern Siren Sugar Scrubs has great Mother Day packages for you that you can go out and still purchase. And she says she will have them ready for you in time for Mother's Day. So go out to Southern Sirens Sugar Scrub. MJ, if you're out there right now, copy and paste your link over there for us, and everybody can click on it and go out and get that last minute Mother's Day gift in case you haven't got it yet. Let's see who we got. Josh, what are you saying for Shane for? Please, seriously, hey, yes, please go out and listen to the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. The guys are great. I don't know where these brains come from, but we're keeping them around forever for as long as they'll stay with us. Great football minds. Sean even mentioned on the group me earlier this week, and Josh, I don't think you were a part of it because he only mentioned it in the Alpha group, I think, how many weeks he won last year from listening to you guys. He said a lot of it came from ideas that he already had of what he was going to do for starters, but you guys reinforced those ideas, and you guys won him a couple of games last year. So that is really great to hear. Let's see. MJ posted the website out there, so make sure you go and post or go out and look at that. Let's see. You panicked me. Mother's Day was 14 March here. That's interesting that Mother's Day is different. I guess it would be, but it's different in the UK than it is here. That's interesting. Where can we find the analysis for Bravo? So Bravo will get done, will get added after you guys are all done. Maybe after you guys are still in the middle of it, but I'd wait for you to get done to see how many rounds these guys would get through. So what I'm going to do, if you look at the middle set of horizontal menu buttons on the MFL page, and I know for those of you that go out and do it on your mobile devices, it's a little bit different. I think it's the one that says league menus. You're going to click on the plus sign. At the very end of that, I'm going to add a button that says draft analysis. And then what I'm going to do is it's going to be an HTML type document where I'm going to put up at the top round 1 through whatever our guys that are doing the analysis do. And I'll have a bookmark to each one of those rounds. And then they're going to go pick by pick with a draft grade for each one of the picks that are on there with a little bit of analysis. The guys are coming at me fast and furious with those. They created separate rounds for each one of the drafts in GroupMe. I'm going to be copying and pasting those from GroupMe on the PC side of the house into an HTML document, formatting it so it looks nice and pretty, and then I will put it out there for you all, which is probably also the reason why I shut my phone off last night for the first time, and I can't remember how long. I decided that I'm going to shut my phone off for the night. I'm going to use an old school alarm clock, and I'm going to take my watch off my wrist. For those who don't know, I sleep with this on my wrist at night, and I roll over a lot, and I check my time. It's what I do when I'm in the field a lot doing army exercises as well. This is my alarm clock right here. So I decided to take it off my wrist last night, use an old school alarm clock, and shut the phone off. And I got a great night's sleep last night. I woke up, turned the phone on. I had 187 missed messages from the Bravo draft group last night on GroupMe. So I will be doing the same thing again tonight. So don't think badly of me. Don't think that I don't want to participate in all of that. I just need a good night's sleep. Thank you all. Hey, if you like this week's show, please like and share it here on Facebook. And then also don't forget to go over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. In a couple of days, this will be edited by our video editor, Brandon, and he will get this up on YouTube as well. I appreciate Bill III for reaching out in our group last week and saying, if you're in this group, go out and subscribe to the group, because that boosted our numbers up. I think we're up to like 42 or 43, I think now. We still want to reach that 100 number to be able to get our custom YouTube channel. So please go out and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. Yeah, you definitely active in there. The Bravo group has been super active in there, and the amount of trades that have been made in the Bravo group it just blows my mind. And I will show you where they were all at in the draft at about 8:03 this evening before we went live. I've got a screenshot for you all that I'm going to show you in a second here. But before we get to that, some sad news. In case you did not hear already, the NFL lost a legend this week. They lost Coach Don Shula. Shula was an American professional football coach and player. He is the winningest coach in NFL history. He was best known for his being the longtime head coach of the Miami Dolphins, leading them to 2 Super Bowl victories, including the one perfect season in NFL history in 1972. He was previously the head coach of the Baltimore Colts, who he won a 1968 NFL championship with. Shula was drafted out of John Carroll University in 1951, and he played previously as a defensive back for the Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Colts, and Washington Redskins. Shula passed away on Monday at the age of 90. I'm pretty sure that's probably not news to all of you that are out there paying attention, but I wanted to make sure that we highlighted such a great member in the NFL community. So let's talk about a little bit more NFL news. So if you have not heard this either, the NFL is planning on releasing their 2020 schedule tomorrow. It's supposed to be released at 8 p.m. East Coast time on the NFL Network. So if you have the ability to be able to go out and watch that, make sure you do. One of the things that we have heard is that there will be 0 games outside the U.S. borders this year. So no games in Mexico or in the UK like we're used to seeing over the last couple of years. Everything will be internal to the U.S. Let's talk about membership count. So we've pretty much already said Alpha is full, Bravo is full, Alpha's completed their draft, Bravo is in the middle of their draft. We are still trying to fill the last couple of spots, in Charlie. We are currently 10 out of 12 in the Charlie League. Thank you to Eric Talbot for signing up today. He found us out on Twitter. I think he was trying to find any Dynasty League that he could out there. He said in the room earlier tonight that he's been playing fantasy football for 20 years, Dynasty for 12, so we've got a lot of good knowledge coming to us with that, especially with this being our first year of doing Dynasty. So Eric, welcome. Thank you for joining. Also, don't forget about our Redraft League. That's been the cornerstone of FSA for the last 26, now 27 years. We're currently sitting at 30 people. The goal was to get us to 32, which is 1/3 of the league for this year before we roll over the 2019 to 2020 season. So I'd like to get 2 more members in there before we roll that over. What I would really like to do is definitely fill the Charlie League very, very soon, because I would like for them to be able to still do their draft selection show next Saturday, because I'm not going to do it this weekend as we're ramping up for Mother's Day. And then they will start their draft on 18 May. But I would also like to get those last 2 positions filled for the Redraft League by no later than 9 June. Reason being is we can still purchase all of these leagues on MFL prior to 10 June and make sure that we roll over the way we need to for 2020 in all of them. So MJ says Charlie is getting ready to fill up 2 spots remaining. I think Brian Lewis from TDs and Beer and from the Dayton Triangles is trying to get somebody to sign up right now. Who knows? I might log off of the show tonight and we might have that sign up. And besides Brian's guy out there, we've got 5 more feelers out there to fill these final 2 spots. I really do believe that they're going to fill up super, super fast. We are going to run the redraft league this year with 96 teams, so make sure you don't miss out on signing up for that. Yeah, David Hegel says keep your eye on those Tuskers in the Charlie League. If nothing else, you have one of the coolest brands that we've done so far in any of the leagues, in my opinion. The old UFL league that didn't stick around for very, very long. And on top of that, not only is it a cool brand, is between yours and the Generals, you guys really, really tested my graphics ability as a graphic manipulator and what I could do with those things. And both of those brands turned out really, really good. So I can't wait to show those off to everybody. So I know we've been talking about where the Bravo draft is out right now, and I hope you all can see this, but this is the Bravo draft as of 8:03 today, as they've gone through rounds 1 through 10 already. And Alpha, compared to where we were at, look at all those holes that are on their draft board. All of those holes represent some kind of trade that were made throughout the draft so far. And when I see that, man, that just causes me anxiety, big time anxiety. So as you know, if you see the Patty Mahomes there in the first round underneath the Erie explosion, that trade was made just before we went live over to the Bridgeport Jets, which you see there in the second slot that's got Dak on there. So you flip-flop Patty Mahomes and Dak Prescott in those spots right now. A couple other picks were moved just before we went live on that as well. So that is where their board sits right now. And I know not all of us in Alpha are rookies, but there are some of us that are in Alpha that are rookies. And to see something like that probably just makes our head hurt. Yeah, Matt Furby from the Alpha League says those are some crazy trades. MJ says, look at all those holes. David, I appreciate, man. I'm really glad to have you back. I know you took, I think, a year or two off from the redraft league. And I'm glad to have you back on both sides. In case you all don't know, David has decided that he's going to use the Tuskers branding on the redraft side this year as well, instead of Black Sunday like he's used for a couple years. I think you were the Smilodons for a year, and you did pretty well. I think did you win the Alliance Invitational Tournament or runner-up at the Alliance Invitational Tournament when we had it? And then you switched over to Black Sunday for a season or two, and then we've lost you for a season or two. But super, super glad to have you back. Hey, speaking of, okay, so I put the draft board up, right? So Matt Kroll, who was our general manager of the year in the redraft league last year, and also one of our players that is over the pond in Greece right now, came up with a great idea. So a lot of you know, of course, I'm in the military, and a lot of what you see in this league has a lot of military feel to it, right? The way we built the regions, the way we mascotted each one of the regions, especially the way we labeled our dynasty drafts or our dynasty leagues this year, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie. Matt came up with another idea. So I woke up a couple mornings ago, and I said good morning to the Alpha group, right? And in the military, we like to nickname everything. Every one of our companies is Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, something. Like when I was a first sergeant, we were the Alpha Assassins. Me and the company commander decided we wanted to change it to the Alpha Armadillo. So there's always some kind of nickname that goes out there with units like that. So I woke up one morning and I said, hey, Alpha, how are you? Good morning. And I said, you know what? We really need to have a nickname to go along with this league. And Matt came up with an idea that I sat on for a couple of hours, and I really like the idea, and I want to present it to everybody who's watching right now. And there's not very many people live out there right now, but hopefully you'll come back and watch this later. Matt's idea was, why don't we let the first year's champion mascot or nickname what that particular dynasty league is going to be. And I thought that was a great idea. So not only are you going to win the $500 for winning that league, and you're going to be crowned the league champion, but you get to nickname what your Alpha, Bravo, or Charlie league is going to be called. Hopefully we all keep it clean. Hopefully we keep it, somewhat, it kind of makes sense or whatever. But, congratulations to you for winning the first ever dynasty leagues in FSA history, and we're going to let you, the champion, nickname whatever that league is going to be. So if you want to use Alpha Armadillos, I'd have no problem with that whatsoever. But I thought that was a great idea. Matt came up with that. Great idea, Matt. We're rolling with it. we will forever put your name and stamp it on that. Sticking with more draft stuff. So also talking in the Bravo League chat room the other day on GroupMe, we found out a lot of the guys have been to the most recent drafts that had happened for the NFL. I was at the Dallas draft 2 years ago. A couple of the guys were at the Tennessee draft last year. Of course, we didn't have the Vegas draft this year like we were hoping for. But we know the Cleveland draft is coming up in 2021. We started talking. A lot of guys were already saying they were going to the Cleveland draft. Cleveland is pretty close to the home front of where FSA was started, just a couple hours east of where we were at, west of Cleveland. And I thought, since that is our biggest area in the country, the Great Lakes region, why don't we make that the next big FSA event? So mark it on your calendars now. We are 51 weeks out from that draft. It happens 29 April till 1 May. Put it on your calendars, and we're going to make it the biggest FSA event we've had so far in our history. Everybody that wants to go, go. And let's make sure that we take a head count, everybody that's going to go. Get our hotels as early as we can. We go do the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We drive a little bit further south and go see the NFL Hall of Fame, or Pro Football Hall of Fame. Let's do this as a group and make it a huge FSA event. Let me know what you think. The other thing that I thought about doing that weekend, if we got people there, was the draft will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right? We waited this year to do all of our startup drafts on Monday. Right after the NFL draft is over, what if we were able to do the rookie drafts for Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie on that Sunday while we're all right there in Cleveland, Canton, Akron area, and let's just do it, and we'll just make it one great big long 4-day event. So let us know if you would like to jump on board for that. That way we can start, maybe MJ and I can come up with some plans of hotels to be able to call and tell them that we're coming with a big group of people. Maybe we'll get some kind of discount. Might be a little tough with it being draft weekend for that to happen. If nothing else, it will be outside of Cedar Point season. MJ, correct me if I'm wrong or not, because I know you used to be up in Ohio as well. We might be outside of Cedar Point season. We might be able to get a pretty good deal on staying in Sandusky and then driving over to Cleveland. And depending on where we want to go, it's less than an hour drive, I believe. Spend all day over there and then come on back for the night. Let me know. And I think we're out of season. We could be able to do that. So mark your calendars. April 29th through 1 May. 51 weeks from now. Plenty of time to plan that. I already mentioned it once, but I'm going to mention it again. Don't forget we have a YouTube channel. We are going to continue doing these live broadcasts on Facebook, but after 1 August, a replay of this show can only be seen on YouTube. We're going to do our live. We're going to keep it out there for maybe a couple of minutes, and then we're going to on Facebook Live, and then we're going to take it down. If you want to watch it, you're going to have to go and watch it over on YouTube. So if you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, go over there and subscribe now. We will do all of our draft selection shows for the redraft leagues on 1 August. Those will stay here and be on YouTube. After those shows, you will have to find all of your reruns of this broadcast over on YouTube. So make sure you go over there and subscribe. Also, we still need to get 100 subscribers so we can get our custom YouTube channel. And then I believe also at that time, we can start doing our lives over on YouTube, and we can get off of the Facebook format, which will allow us to pick up more people over there, because we found out last year that some of our members don't even have Facebook, but they would be able to see us over on YouTube. So make sure you go and do that. And then also on all of our other social medias, go out and Google Fantasy Sports Alliance on Instagram, Twitter. You're already here on Facebook. Go out and do that on YouTube, and you can find us over there. And then if you're not part of the GroupMe family yet, let us know. Download the GroupMe app. We got Eric on it tonight, and a little bit of a struggle to get him on. GroupMe had some issues tonight. We will get you added to the appropriate GroupMe chat room. We do a lot of chatting off season, especially during draft time, to keep it moving. All of the guys in Alpha and Bravo have been using it to make sure that they let the next person know who's on the clock, and we'll just continue doing that with the Charlie League. So make sure you download the GroupMe app, and we'll get you added on there. All right, so Depending on what happens with the Charlie League membership will depend on whether we're going to do a show next week or not. If we can get those other 2 spots filled, we might do a show next week. If we don't get them filled, on Wednesday of next week, if those last 2 spots aren't filled, we are going to open up those last 2 spots to membership of people who have already signed up for Alpha and Bravo. I know we already have a lot of those that said that they would play in a Charlie League and bring another defunct team back to life. So we will open it up next Wednesday. However, I am hoping that we will have those 2 spots filled. And if we do, we'll do a quick show next week. We'll introduce those last 2. Again, I will burn the midnight oil on Thursday and Friday to get those brands created, get the website created, and then we will have their draft selection show on the, what did I tell you all, the 16th? I'm looking at the calendar now, the 16th. We will do that draft selection show, and then the Charlie League will start drafting on May 18th. If we don't fill the league, I will send out a nicely worded email and across all of our social media to let you all know that the spots that are still open in the Charlie League, and then we'll kind of let it be a free-for-all, and we'll see who signs up first. But I don't think we're going to have to come to that because I'm pretty sure we're going to fill those last 2 spots up pretty quickly. We've got 5 feelers out there right now, and Brian Lewis is pulling in on 6th. Chris says if we fill a Charlie, we got to do a Delta. I'm going to put a kibosh on that right now. There will be no Delta in 2020. The amount of work that's going into each one of these leagues, and the whole point of doing the defunct Dynasty leagues was so I could just go out and grab the old logo and slap it on MFL, and I thought that's how easy it was going to be. But this Dynasty thing has really grown to be a beast of its own. I am enjoying all of the work that I'm putting into it, but we really do have to focus on the cornerstone of what's been FSA for the last 26, 27 years, which has been the redraft league. And I want to get back to being able to push that. And the only way that I'm going to be able to do that is if I take a break away from the Dynasty leagues. So like MJ just said, Delta will be 2021. That's our tagline for now on. MJ says I shouldn't do a show next week. It depends. Let's just see what happens with the Charlie League, and then we'll let that determine whether I come back on live next week or not. All right, I would like to thank all of our sponsors. The first one I'm going to mention out of the chute tonight is Southern Siren Sugar Scrub. Since MJ is there right now, don't forget she can still get Mother's Day packages put together for you. Go out and check out all of her products. I think she already put her URL up there, so if you need to, scroll back up and click on it. MJ, if you want, copy paste again, put it out there for everybody. Thank you to Finger Lakes Mercantile and Brandon and all of the things that he does for us. Brandon is also our video editor, and he's been doing a lot of great work for us. We know we had a lot of technical difficulties with the Bravo draft selection show, so much so that I told Brandon that I'm going to help him edit that show because of the big problems that we had at the end of video 1 and the problems we had at the beginning of video 2. So thank you for everything that he does. Thank you to Nature Coast Tailgating for sponsoring this year's World Championship Bowl. Thank you to Football Darts for sponsoring this broadcast. Thank you to Deep South Creations. They are going to sponsor a bowl game in some way, shape, or form this year. And thank you, of course, to the Recast, who are the official music of FSA, and you get to hear them at the beginning of every single week. Whenever we do our intro. If you have not gone out and found their new album, Devastator, make sure you go out and listen to that and grab a copy of it. 4 songs, great album. MJ and I went out and grabbed it as soon as Mondo told us that it was available. Great album. All 4 of the songs are amazing. We just get lucky enough to be able to use one of them on our intro every single week. And whew, man, I think that's it. Thank you for watching the Fanatically Real broadcast sponsored by Football Darts and Fantasy Sports Alliance. If you like the show, don't forget to go out, like, and share. Go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Look, something like this is what you should be doing for us. And then we may or may not see you next week. We will let you know how things are going in the Charlie League, and we'll let you know across social media and email if we will be back next week or if we are going to take a break. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. For those of you that are not mothers, don't forget to get your mom something for Mother's Day. And you all have a great night.